It's Christmas time. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith, and today I'm here with Blackie Humphrey, Hector Angel Shadow Rascal Godfrey Gladstone the Third. Oh, I wish you could stay in the frame with us, Blackie, and I could interview you the whole time. This is going to be one of those this and that episodes. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. Isn't that fun, Blackie? It's sort of alive, this and that, but on tape. But not really tape. We used to call it, "You're not taping again, are you?" But it's not really taping. What do you call it when you're recording something and it's digital or whatever it is? It's October, everybody, and guess what that means? It's Blackie Humphrey's birthday this month. He's going to turn 11 years old on October 22nd. Now, we don't really know for sure that that's his exact birth date, but that is the date on the chip that is in Blackie somewhere. According to the Humane Society in Pasadena when we adopted Blackie Humphrey. So this month we will celebrate 11 years of Blackie. But in December, it's going to be 5 whole years since we got Blackie, which is very exciting. Today I saw the Terrifier 3, everybody. Oh my gosh. What a disturbing movie, I must say. A very, very disturbing and gory gore fest. I must say I really enjoyed it. If you go into things like that and think about the special effects and the blood and body part effects and all that, then you won't be so scared. But then at night, you're going to think, ugh. The things you can do with an axe, it is terrifying, literally. What else? People are already starting to vote, talking about terrifying. I got my ballot in the mail the other day. Of course, I haven't filled it out yet. And there's all that stuff with propositions. I'm so bad at that proposition stuff because they run ads on TV. So all the ads for yes or no make it sound like you should vote yes or no. And then when it comes to it, I'm like, do I vote yes or do I vote no? If it were just so straightforward and written in a way that even I could understand, then it would be fine. Do you want your rent cheaper? Or do you want equal rights for everybody? Yes. Do you want freedoms taken away? Then no. But it's always worded in such a tricky way. Blackie, when I was in college, they would do those tests. They were multiple choice, but then there was one teacher in the communications department. I won't say her name because I don't remember her name, but I loved her class, but her tests were a bitch. A bunch of bitches because there were multiple tests, but she would do multiple choice questions, but there were so many choices like A, B, C, D, E, F. Who puts that many? Just do A, B, C, or D, all of the above. And they were worded so, well, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that. You never knew what letter to pick. My brain was just swirling as it always does. Now, everybody go out and vote. This election is very important. Now, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, and I'm not going to tell you who not to vote for, because I don't talk about things like that on this show because I don't want to lose viewers, and I don't want to be one of those podcast type things that that does that. Oh, look, now he looks like Lex Luthor. Ah, so ugly. They really made it look like him, didn't they? These action figures from Factory, FCTRY is the name of the company, and they do such amazing little designs. Now, the Kamala Harris action figure to me doesn't really doesn't capture her. I think she should be smiling bigger and laughing more. And now I wanted to get the Donald Trump in his suit with the big fat red tie covering up his big giant beer belly. I don't think he drinks. I think I've heard that he doesn't drink. But he still is very fat. But they stopped selling that one. But they did sell him in his prison jumpsuit. So I guess that's good enough. My roommate doesn't let me put him on display in the living room, but I put him like further back away from the other characters, just sort of seething in the background. But I do wish they had chosen a different design for her. A lot of people are calling for a pantsuit because Kamala wears a lot of pantsuits. And I think I've seen her in tennis shoes too. But these are sensible shoes. Nothing too flashy, nothing with too big of heels. Yeah, so we're going to see what happens with this election, y'all. I'm talking about Terrifier. Talk about Halloween terrors and scary things. I don't know what to say. It's like 3 weeks before the election, and it's so close, and the country is split down the middle, and one side, if they lose, they're going to go crazy, and the other side, if they lose, they should go crazy. It's just going to be brother against brother, man and woman fighting in the street with pitchforks, buildings on fire. I don't know. Oh, so just get out and vote. If you're gonna vote wrong, then just don't vote. But if you're gonna vote right, then yes, do vote. Don't vote twice, like they always said that people did. People don't do that. That was such a lie. You know, I just finished reading the Grease book, Tell Me More, Tell Me More. It's stories from the Broadway phenomenon that started it all. And it's by Tom Moore, Adrienne Barbeau, and Ken Weissman. And I must say, I really enjoyed it. Here's the inside of the book. Tom Moore, Adrienne Barbeau, who you all know from Maud and the Fog and Swamp Thing and so many things. And, of course, Ken Weissman. And it goes through the whole process of when Grease started in Chicago before it went to off-Broadway, and they had revamped a lot of the show greatly. And then the process of casting people, it was rigorous casting. And this show came out, I believe, in 1972, so a good 6 years before the movie. I mean, it may have even been before that. It opened off-Broadway February 14th, 1972. But before that, there was a version playing in Chicago. And you know, the movie didn't come out until 78. And we all loved the Grease movie. I mean, that's just part of my whole childhood. And but this doesn't really deal with the movie at all, except they did have a movie premiere, and the Broadway people were invited, and they did a thing in New York. But this is about the casting. It's about all the stories of the different cast, not just the Broadway cast, but the national tour cast, the bus and truck cast. There was one harrowing story about one of the touring cast that had taken a plane, and the plane was falling out of the sky, and Grease cast members and their dogs were just flying all over the plane. Harrowing, and they still did the show that night. They survived. They didn't crash, and they were all battered and bruised, but the show went on. There were all sorts of stories about how people would break a leg or, twist an ankle or whatever during the performance and go on for as long as they could and then have to have the understudy go on. But what I love on the inside, they have all the people, well, not all the people, but they have a bunch of people with their younger photos, and it's sort of like a yearbook. And I mean, the show had people like Patrick Swayze in it. It had, just lots of big stars besides lots of Broadway stars. John Travolta was in the cast. Barry Bostwick. Just lots and lots of people. But isn't that very clever to do? And you really get to know the people. And there's a lot of people who have passed on, so they couldn't partake in the book. There's lots of pictures throughout, which I always think pictures in a book are very appreciated. And they still have reunions to this day, just big groups of Grease people. Here's what some of the early posters looked like. Isn't that amazing? But it was a really big hit on Broadway. And I recommend that book greatly. I've been trying to read a lot more lately. And I've been trying to listen to less news because, it gets very depressing. All the whining and the bickering and the name calling and But anyway, that is what is happening this month in October of 2024. Sometimes I think, should I retire from this show? Where would I go? What would I do? I know as long as there are shows to review, I'm going to want to review things like I've got Kimberly Akimbo coming up at the Pantages Theater. Back to the Future, the musical, is coming in November. And Once Upon a Mattress is coming in December to the Amundsen Theater, and with Sutton Foster, which is currently on Broadway now with Sutton and Michael Urie and Anna Gasteyer. I've got to find out if Anna Gasteyer and Michael Urie are coming to do the LA production. I'm sure someone knows out there. I just will have to look and I'll let you know. Anyway, I am going to go and take Mr. Blackie Humphrey out. And he's all comfortable, or I'd lift him up. But I can lift up his little monkey. This monkey I had gotten for myself at Walgreens. It was a cute little monkey that I just saw on a shelf there. And it was in 2020, right when we knew that the pandemic was heading our way and things were starting to close down. And I was still working a few days. A lot of the people had stopped coming to work. But I was working that last week before I went on to furlough for 3 months. And I took this monkey and I thought it would comfort me. And I got home, and of course Blackie wanted it, and he took off its ear, and I went and bought myself another monkey, but it's still in the box over there. But this is Blackie Humphrey's monkey. We love our toys around here. Anyway, I'm sure I'll talk to you all later, and we're going to do probably another this and that, maybe after we know what happens with the election. So, will it be good or will it be evil? We just don't know. I'm not judging. I'm not telling you what to think. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.